For over a decade, Canada has been planning to join the United States F-35 fighter jet program, preparing for a multi-billion-dollar deal to upgrade its Air Force. However, recent signals from Ottawa have raised doubts about whether
very expensive fighter jets from the U.S. over trade concerns.
Talked about a lot, which is the Saab Gripen. That was the runner-up in the long procurement process to get these F-35s lined up.
Example is the F-35 fighter jet made by American aerospace giant Lockheed Martin.
There is a limit, full stop. There is a limit to matching these tariffs dollar for dollar, given the fact that our economy is...
Prime Minister Mark Carney has directed the Defense Ministry to review a $13.2 billion F-35 fighter jet.
This massive project will proceed as planned. Growing concerns in Canadian domestic politics and rising trade tensions with the United States are putting the F-35 contract at risk. If Canada withdraws from the F-35 program, what are the alternatives? If Canada decides to abandon the F-35, which fighter jet would prefer instead, could European models offer better solutions? As the European Union ramps up its defense production, could Canada strengthen its strategic ties with Europe? Canada's F-35 journey, a long and uncertain road. Canada's involvement with the F-35 program dates back to the 2010s when it became a partner in the U.S.-led Joint Strike Fighter project. The Royal Canadian Air Force, RCAF, wanted a fifth-generation fighter with advanced sensors and weapons to replace its aging CF-18 Hornets. At the time, joining the F-35 program seemed logical, as it aligned with Canada's commitment to NATO and ensured interoperability with allied forces. However, over the years, concerns about costs and maintenance have grown. The Trump administration's trade tariffs strained relations between the U.S. and Canada, raising questions about why Canada relies so heavily on American defense deals. Additionally, reports indicate that the Canadian Air Force is currently only 40% operationally ready, struggling with maintenance issues, pilot shortages, and a lack of spare parts. Given these challenges, Ottawa is now asking, if we invest in expensive aircraft like the F-35, who will guarantee its readiness, what happens if tensions with the U.S. affect maintenance and support? While remaining aligned with the U.S. is beneficial, Canada is beginning to question whether Washington is a truly reliable defense partner. The rise of European defense alternatives. In the wake of growing security concerns in Europe, countries such as Germany, France, Italy, and Spain have significantly increased their defense budgets. The European Union is working to build a self-sufficient defense industry, boosting the production of fighter jets like the Eurofighter Typhoon, Dassault Rafale, and Saab Gripen. Some experts believe that if Canada exits the F-35 program, it could secure a more cost-effective deal by purchasing European jets in bulk. But which European aircraft will be the best alternative? Three major contenders for Canada. 1. Eurofighter Typhoon. The Eurofighter Typhoon is a fourth-generation fighter developed by the UK, Germany, Italy, and Spain. While it lacks the stealth capabilities of the F-35, it excels in air superiority and performs well in ground attack missions. Pros: strong long-range and high-altitude performance, suitable for Canada's vast geography, part of a well-established NATO framework. Cons: maintenance costs are lower than the F-35, but still high. Spare part supply can be complicated due to its multinational production structure. Lacks stealth capabilities, raising concerns about future threats. 2. Dassault Rafale. The French-made Rafale is a versatile multi-role fighter used for air superiority, ground attack, and naval operations. Although it doesn't have advanced stealth features like the F-35, it has a low radar signature and proven combat performance. Pros: excellent aerodynamic design and twin-engine power. Relatively lower cost compared to the F-35. Reliable in cold climates and long-range patrols. Cons: not as widespread in NATO, which could pose integration challenges. Maintenance infrastructure would need to be adapted to Canadian conditions. 3. Saab Gripen E/F. The Swedish Gripen is a lightweight, cost-effective fighter jet known for easy maintenance and adaptability to harsh weather conditions. Designed for operations in Scandinavian climates, it is a strong candidate for Canada. Pros: low purchase and maintenance costs. Designed for cold weather and short runway operations. Easy logistics and training for pilots. Cons: smaller and less powerful than the F-35 Typhoon or Rafale, may not be ideal for long-range missions or high-intensity combat. Would Canada consider another American fighter? If Canada want to maintain ties with the U.S. but avoid the F-35, it could look at alternatives like the Boeing F-15EX or the F/-18E divided by F Super Hornet. However, these jets are still American-made, meaning Ottawa will remain dependent on Washington. If the goal is to diversify defense partnerships, shifting towards European aircraft could be a more strategic move. Political and strategic considerations. A break from U.S. dependence? Canada's growing frustration with U.S. trade policies and defense agreements has led to discussions about strengthening defense ties with Europe. Some believe that if Canada joins European defense procurement programs, it could lower costs and gain logistical support from other nations. Economic risks and industrial impact. Canada's aerospace industry, including companies like Bombardier, has close ties with U.S. defense projects. A complete break from the F-35 could disrupt industrial cooperation and affect Canadian jobs. However, if Canada strengthens its partnership with Europe, it could integrate into future European aircraft and drone programs. The future of Canadian air defense. While the F-35 offers the most advanced technology, its high costs and operational complexity make it a difficult choice. The Gripen is affordable and easy to maintain, while the Typhoon and Rafale offer strong combat capabilities with medium maintenance costs. With only 40% of Canada's current air fleet operational, choosing a reliable and cost-effective aircraft is crucial. The Gripen may be the best option for affordability and maintenance, while the Typhoon and Rafale could be stronger choices for combat power. What's next? A critical decision for Canada. Will Canada cancel the F-35 deal and shift towards European alternatives? Or is this just a negotiation tactic to secure better terms with the United States? Some experts believe Ottawa might use the threat of cancellation as leverage to get Washington to address cost and maintenance concerns. However, if Canada officially exits the F-35 program, it could mark a historic shift in its defense strategy. Strengthening ties with France, Germany, the UK, or Sweden could redefine Canada's role in global defense markets. The Canadian government is expected to announce a final decision soon. If the F-35 contract is canceled, Canada will need to select and procure new fighter jets within the next 2 years, a decision that will shape its air force for decades to come. What do you think? Should Canada abandon the F-35 and choose a European jet? Or should it find a compromise with the United States to maintain a fifth-generation stealth fleet? Let us know in the comments.